My dear audience, today I am presenting before you an interesting topic, science behind womanhood. Just see, Ramayana and Mahabharata. What we have found that in Mahabharata, Draupadi has been given much respect, and because of hampering of her prestige, dignity, the Mahabharata war was started. I like this in Ramayana because of Sita. So, to question his chastity, the Ramayana, that means Ram Ravan war, had already started. What does it mean? It means that in both the cases, women respect is given much emphasis. In earlier also, we have found out in many cases, like Devi Durga, like Devi Kali, Devi Lakshmi, Devi Saraswati, everywhere the women were given due respect. Because they are given due respect, that's why the society was advancing. So, in this case, just I want to say that misconception that exists in our society, that is the mystery of birth. Just let me tell you, in our modern society, the women in the family are being tortured, humiliated. The reason, do you know what? The reason is that whenever in a family a wife gives birth to a daughter, the family members or husband, they are not happy. But when that very woman gives birth second daughter, they become very, very sad. They begin to torture the wife because she gives birth daughters one after another. They want a son instead of a girl because to keep up the heredity of the family. It is a quite misnomer and misnotion. I tell you, because in this case, when a wife gives birth daughters one after another, so what actually happens? The family, first of all, they feel sad and they torture the woman concerned or mother concerned, and at last they drive the mother out of their family, or they go for divorce, or they go for mental harassment to the woman or to the mother, as a result of which this, the husband goes for second marriage. Likewise, in the society it is happening. The husband going for third marriage. But if you come to know the science behind the birth, you will not think like this. I tell you what actually happens. After the marriage, when the woman, this is conception, that means becomes pregnant, and the birth of the child, whether it is male child or female child, that fully depends upon the male, not only female. Female is not, but wife is not at all responsible for the maleness or the femaleness of the child. The male or the husband is fully responsible for the maleness and femaleness of the child. So how we can blame the woman? I tell you the scientific reasons. The reason is that whenever a mature egg unites with a mature sperm, then zygote is formed. That is the first stage of the embryo. Then that zygote in growth becomes fetus. Then the fetus becomes a baby and gets birth as a baby. So what actually happens? The mature egg of the woman consists of sex chromosome that is similar type of sex chromosome that is X and X. But in case of men or husband, the mature sperm consists of sex chromosomes of two dissimilar types, that is X and Y. So woman gives only similar type of sex chromosome, that is X and X. When X of the man from sperm unites with the X of the woman of the ovum, that is female is born. When Y of the man unites with the X of the woman, then son is born. So if the male donates Y to the woman, then and then possibility of son. Or if man donates the X, then possibility of daughter. So in this case, I tell you that men should not go for divorce. Rather, women or wife should go for divorce, telling that you, the husband, you are not able to give me a son. So in this case, our society must not blame the woman. Second, the body color. So happens, as a scientist I tell you, so happens many times in the society that suppose father is black in color, mother is also black in color. So when a child is born, whether it is a baby son or girl, so if it is white in color, then in that case, the husband suspects the wife or the family members suspect the wife and they started torturing her, saying that bad character. But it is not the fact. Even the husband is black in color or wife is black in color, this child will be, possibility is there, will be white in color because you have to search there the previous history, hereditary history, somewhere in the forefathers of the wife or the forefathers of the husband, somewhere some persons might be in white color and the gene responsible for white remains recessive under suppressive conditions, but under favorable conditions sometimes it becomes awakens and gives out the color of the whiteness. So where is the mistake of the woman? It is possible. Even in the likewise, if husband is white in color, wife is in white in color, this child may be black. There is no harm. And another clue I tell you, if you are doubting, if you are in doubt, so I can tell you, somewhere in the body of a child must be some of the things that is equivalent or that is saying that it is the character of his husband or sorry her husband, because there must be some spot as like the husbands, there must be some eye color, eyes design like this. There must be some clue which also refers that the child is belong to her or her husband. Next I tell you a alarming situation that has come to notice in recent newspapers, the ratio between women and men. That means if the men is thousands and women becoming 923 or something, that means the numbers of women in the society as per the ratio is concerned is gradually lessening and lessening. It is very, very dangerous to save the earth. The survival of the earth is a big question if the numbers of women gradually decrease. Do you know why? Because rather men, the number of men may be less. The earth can manage easily. But number of women must not be less. It must be more than that. And why I say you, just think that a woman in one men's cycle gives or produces one egg, mature egg, only one mature egg. But whereas in man or husband, that it produces sperms in thousands in one semen fluid, that is about 10,000 sperms are there. viable sperms are there. And as science says, if you go for artificially fertilization in the laboratory or anywhere, so each sperm has the capacity to unite with each egg. That means there are 10,000 sperms are able to unite with 10,000 eggs to give birth to 10,000 babies. Just think, one woman and man is giving out 10,000. That means woman is equivalent to 10,000 men. So, as for science says, as a zoologist, I am telling you that suppose out of 10,000, only 1,000 survives. May not be all survives. If 1,000 survives, that means 1,000 viable sperms, nature sperms, can need 1,000 women, because every woman has only single leg. So to fulfill the demands of the 1,000 sperms, it needs 1,000 women. That means you can understand the number of women is necessary to be much higher than men. I think so. That earlier may not be correct. I may not be correct one, but may not be proper one. But I say that in earlier the kings and emperors, they have many queens. Only single king having many queens. So if they are maintaining that, I never say it is a good practice. But I say you, the numbers of women is necessary so that the less number of men can be the need of less number of men can be fulfilled by many numbers of women, because they only produce one egg, but whereas men produces millions and thousands of sperms. So the reasons. Then next, why the ratio decreases. It is the alarming situation, I tell you. In future, the survivability earth will be re-questioned if the number of women or their respect, their dignity is being hampered. So I tell you again, why the reasons happens. First of all, I say you, because in modern society, there is a craze. They need a son to keep up the heredity process or system. That's why whenever a wife comes in pregnancy and they want to see whether in the womb of the mother, the fetus or the baby, maybe a male or female, that's why they seek the help of the doctors under ultrasound process. If they can, in scanning process, if they come to know the daughter is in the womb, so what do they do? They go for abortion. They go for abortion. Even if the daughter is there, even if they do not go for abortion, but when they come to know, the husband and their family member come to know that a daughter is in her womb and mother doesn't want to go for abortion because mother loves the child very much, whether it is a daughter or a son. That's why, but the mother or the pregnant woman is given much torture. As a result, which in mental tension, under heavy mental tension, miscarriage happens. Miscarriage occurs. So that is one of the reasons why the numbers of the daughters or number of the baby girls are lessening. Another point I tell you that the reason for lessening of the daughters, the thing is that in modern age, many of the peoples or women's, that I call it women's, even they go for late marriage. So what actually happens in the late marriage? Sometimes hmm, so happens that husband and wife, they do not want to have their child as soon as possible. That's why the woman or the woman has to use the contraceptive or use many drugs to control their birth. That means they do not want to be pregnant so soon. So use of drugs, use of contraceptive devices, that later on that cause harm to the woman, very much harm to the woman. When after late age, when the husband and wife both wanted to be a father and mother, their fertility, their fertility capacity might have reduced or might have smashed, might have smashed. They cannot be mother, they cannot be father, because they have already destroyed their ureter systems or uterus. So they damage their uterus by using the drugs for birth control or using the devices, the contraceptives. So what actually happens in that case? But they want baby in later age. They want baby. So what happens? They go for adoption. Therefore, adopting the child, and of course, most of the parents, they adopt male child. They discard the girl child. So what actually happens in this case? The adoption value of male child is much higher than the adoptive value of the female child. This is another reason. And another reason I tell you, that the harassment. The woman, when she gives birth to her three daughters, having no son, so the family gives her, but the family harassed her much. Out of harassment, what happens? Sometimes so happens, the mother, it has come out. The mother with the child go for suicide. They commit suicide. Even many news are coming out. They commit for suicide. So that is another cause of lessening the number of women. Another thing is that most of the nowadays in modern age, most of the boys and girls, when they are in service, they do not want to marry, but they live in relationship. They keep living in relationships, but they do not want to be parents. They keep in a live-in relationship. So what happens? The educated persons who can manage their family, because they have got their jobs, they have got their money. So when they have their money with him, they can educate their children if they are born in their family. If they go for bachelor, if they are bachelor, so what happens? The numbers, whether boys or girls, will be lessened. Another point is that I tell you, in case of poor, in case of poor, you see, the rich people, we have seen many of the great politicians, many of the rich persons, industrialists, they never marry. But they have the money, they have the properties, they can manage. But whereas in case of poor or the middle class people, they go for marriage, they reproduce child. But they do not have, they reproduce child one after another. But they do not have so much of money to educate their children. The poor Middle class tribe peoples, the poor peoples, economically backward peoples, if they give birth child, one or two or three, they cannot manage the family, as a result of which the young children, either they go for slavery, they have to the slavery occupation, or they give up their studies, they remain illiterate. So that is another reason for which the population of the women or the population of the society is gradually decreasing. So I say you, then I just in the last I tell you that in women, of course, I think to the modern society nowadays, the women are given much emphasis, and the daughters are loved by their parents. Also, daughters are given good education. Government is helping a lot, either the poor or the girls, either the poor girls or poor sons or boys. They are giving much help. So I thank to the government, I thank to the modern society, I thank to the modern young and men and women. They change their minds, and they see the daughters and sons are equal, and they share their love equally well to both the sons and daughters, and it is a good sign for the um, future of the nations or the future of the world. So I appeal in the last that women must be respected. If any family where there is due respect of the woman, that family prospers hard. This family peoples also they become highly educated. So my appeal that women should be given safeguard, should be given self-esteem, should be given self-reliant, should be given self-honor, and they should be inspired uh, for higher education and also to opt the jobs, also to marry in time. Not, I never say too early marriage, I never say too late marriage. Marry in time, and people's one or two, thereafter we can go for contraceptive or go for family planning. So, in order to sustain the earth, we have to maintain the society culture, society systems or principles as it was earlier, so that uh, we can have heaven, we can have a heaven in the earth. Thank you.